I would like to welcome the panel discussion on the topic of Asia-Pacific investment and sustainabilities. Please welcome our speakers, Mr. Peter Lundberg, FIABCI-Thai board members, Mr. Takahiro, Kainuma, MRICS from Tokyo Construction, Mr. David Tang, Vice President of FIABCI-Taiwan, and Ms.Larinthorn, Swasdikulavath, board member of FIABCI-Thai to be the moderator.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ And as we already introduced our panelists today, they will share us their perspective on investment trends, sustainability, clean technology, and future opportunity in Asia Pacific region. So let me introduce again. Probably you might see from Mr. Peter Lundberg. He's a board member of FIABCI-Thai, and Mr. Takahiro Kainuma. He's from MRICS from Tokyo Construction Company Limited. And last but not least, Mr. David Tang from FIABCI-Taiwan. Please join me in welcoming with a warm round of applause. All right, let's start our discussion. Okay, with a broad question for my first question to probably from Mr. David Tang. What are the top investment trends in Asia Pacific today?
Well, I think that's a very broad question, but I think recently, of course, everybody's talking about AI. So AI is also a topic within real estate. I know there's a lot of data centers being invested in Taiwan as well as across Asia Pacific. So that's a trend, I think. Also, still going, I think, is a lot of logistics centers. The e-commerce is still very strong. So I believe those are still trending as well. I know that here in Thailand, I've heard that there's a kind of oversaturation of condos. I think one thing that doesn't get enough talk about, which is something that we're always talking about in FIABCI, is affordable housing. And it would be nice if that became more of a trend. I think that's lacking in almost every market that we can name. Yeah.
Oh, wow, very interesting. Thank you very much. This question goes to Mr. Takahiro too.
Hello everyone, I'm Takahiro from Tokyo Construction. About Asia Pacific investment trends. Okay. This is right here. Asia Pacific is being shaped by three major investment trends. First, capital is moving strongly into India, Vietnam, and Indonesia, driven by young demographics, rising domestic demand, and supportive government policies. Second, companies are accelerating supply chain diversification. Many manufacturers are shifting part of their production from China to Southeast Asia, creating strong demand for logistic facilities, industrial parks, and data centers. Third, investors are prioritizing clean energy and low carbon construction. I'm from construction company, so I explain about construction. This includes solar, wind, and new building methods such as mass timber wooden structures. At Tokyo Construction, my company, we have already delivered much from mid to high-rise wooden and hybrid timber building in Japan. These projects reduce carbon emissions and shorten construction time. Exactly the combination global investors are looking for today. That's it.
All right. Okay. I also think about the data center too. Would you like to add anything?
Well, Yeah, so thank you. My name is Peter Lundberg, and apart from being a board member of FIABCI-Thai, I'm also the executive director of the Asia Pacific Urban Energy Association, and I'm glad to be here today to share a little bit on sustainability topic and how sustainability and buildings go hand in hand. I'm glad to hear your perspective from a sustainability perspective. So I think the sustainability is really getting a stronger and stronger, being a stronger and stronger part of the growth, of the investment growth. I mean, almost all countries in APEC and 8 out of 10 countries in ASEAN have net zero targets at 2050 or so. So I mean, there's a clear ambition is there. So, but how to get it to real action? So I think it's time to turn ambition to action, and we see that now, especially now when we have an energy crisis also in the Middle East. The prices go up. There's another incentive to invest or integrate into more sustainable energy solutions like renewable energy in our buildings, and buildings are very, very important. If you consider operation and construction of a building, the buildings stands for about almost 40% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, right? So buildings are very, very important. Okay, thank you.
Right. So what the sustainability and the investment, is there any connected? Can you explain more for that?
Well, I think so, because I mean, on one hand we have policy, or we have national targets so there will be, if not already, there will be new policy to try to push for more sustainable policy to drive the development, to reduce energy consumption, to include new building materials, to integrate more renewable energy into our society, and then of course that includes our buildings. But on the other hand, you have also market developments, like I mentioned. You have the war in the Middle East, that energy prices go up. So at the same time, you have a cost for solar panels, battery energy storage is really going down rapidly, right? So that's another incentive that will change investment strategy, and of course also when it comes to financing new buildings, there are big companies have ESG targets, right? And also financial institutions, banks, and so forth. So they will probably be reluctant to invest in companies that are not also including ESG and climate targets. And I think also, if the last thing I will mention now is, of course, from a commercial perspective, how to stay competitive in the market. Developers have to showcase that they are sustainable. Yeah, so I can continue longer, but I will stop there.
So we will go from there. The second question is about that. The second question is, how important is sustainability for investor now? Probably this round might go from Mr. Takahiro first, and then Mr. Peter, and then Mr.
How important sustainability is for investors? Sustainability has become a core requirement for global investors. They now evaluate both operational carbon, such as energy consumption, and embodied carbon, which comes from building materials itself. This is why low carbon construction is gathering momentum. Mass timber wooden buildings can reduce embodied carbon by 30 to 6% and can be built faster than conventional concrete structures. Because they built. Tokyo Construction has already completed several wooden and hybrid timber projects for major Japanese developers. And for our own portfolio, I developed this one. These projects demonstrate that sustainability and commercial performance can be achieved together Investors also expect transparent ESG reporting, climate risk management, and long-term resilience. Sustainability is no longer optional. It is now a fundamental condition for attracting global capital. That's it.
Thank you. So, your turn, please.
Yeah, to add on that, I think I totally agree with your statement, because I think sustainability is moving from being a premium feature for buildings to be a baseline expectation. So it's going to be the new norm, how to say. And I think also I want to touch on the really huge potential that is out there when it comes to, let's say, renewable energy and scaling up with new technology. We often think that our cities, which are the major contributor to when it comes to energy consumption, also greenhouse gas emissions, cannot produce its own energy. But there's a new study from the city of Sydney that says that Sydney can produce 75% of its own electricity needs with solar panels and batteries together. So 75%, which is a big number. However, in a CBD area, they can only produce maybe 5% of its own consumption. But industrial zones can produce maybe 500 to 1,000% of their own energy needs, right? So in total, the number is 75% for Sydney. And that means that it's possible to do this in other places as well. So there's a huge untapped potential, and prices are coming down rapidly. So I think we will see a lot of things happening in the near future.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. That's very interesting. Yeah, Mr. David, your turn.
Yes. Peter mentioned policy before. In Taiwan, the government is trying to reach the 2050 targets by requiring the top companies in Taiwan that are listed to start complying, start having their carbon footprints measured. So I think it starts with the institutional investors. Probably the lower level, more individual investors need to have more awareness in order to get to more sustainable developments. But definitely the institutional investors already have that pressure to invest in sustainable buildings. And so we're seeing sort of that come top down. But I think still in every country it's different. The different awareness level about sustainability, the more aware that people can be, the more they're willing to push for sustainable materials, sustainable energy, etc.
The sustainability, I think they got the cost too. I mean, the price of to be sustainable, right? So the next question for the future of sustainability. So I will ask which market in Asia Pacific has the strongest growth potential, and how does the sustainability trend affect the investment? So this time I go from you first.
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it's not my expertise, especially on the real estate markets. But I mean, I would say that, I mean, if you look at some of the things that are happening now in the world, take a country like, okay, let's say when it comes to renewable energy deployment in ASEAN country, the leading country is Vietnam. Vietnam has about 50 gigawatts of installed renewable energy capacity. So that's almost twice as much as number two. I think Thailand is something around 15 or something like that, 15 gigawatt. So quite far behind. But a good example, an interesting example is Pakistan. They are suffering from high electricity prices, and also high grid prices, and also an unreliable electricity grids. So due to the low prices for solar panels, people are starting importing their own solar panels to power their house, right? And they have imported a huge amount of solar PV panels for their own consumption in their own homes, which actually reduced the whole country's import of LNG gas and oil. So it has really rippled through the economy and saved the country a lot of money that they also otherwise need to spend on importing fossil fuels, right? So it is interesting to see that, and that is it's pure market-driven example. I think many economies are suffering from a policy that is delayed. Let's say you have sustainability policies or sustainability targets, but the policy that is actually needed to push for change in the markets is not there. Okay, so that's my answer.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Takahiro.
Yes. I also talk about Vietnam too. Actually, I traveled Vietnam last week, so I will talk about Vietnam. In my view, Vietnam offers the strongest growth potential in Asia Pacific. The country continues to benefit from manufacturing relocation from China and has a young skilled workforce. The average age is only 33. In Japan, 40. In Japan, 49. In Thailand, 40. So young. Vietnam is also experienced rapid growth in the EV sector, led by the domestic brand VinFast. During my recent visit to Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang, almost half of the Grab cars was VinFast vehicles, and the rest was not Toyota but a Mitsubishi Expander. Japan also presents strong potential in low-carbon construction, especially with the rise of mass timber buildings. Companies like us are helping Japan lead in wooden building technology, supporting both sustainability and economic competitiveness.
So you think it's Vietnam. So let's hear from Taiwan.
Definitely agree with companies relocating to Indonesia, India, Vietnam, as mentioned before, because they want to diversify from China. At the same time, I think after COVID, because there was a period of high inflation, and so interest rates rose a lot in some countries, in some parts of the world. I think Australia was up there for a while. Now, generally, people are sort of calming down. The outlook is optimistic, but it's also cautious as well. I think there's been good investment in the past few years in Japan, Singapore as well. Sort of the traditional markets that we can think of, they're doing well. So I think continuing forward, especially right now with President Trump in power, we're all a little bit cautious about investments. A lot of investments, I think, are going into the stock market right now. Yeah, I think real estate continues to be optimistic, but kind of cautious.
Kind of cautious. Yeah, I do agree. Yes. So let's move to next question. Since we talk about the sustainability investment, so what challenge do sustainable investment face? This time we go from Mr. David Tang first.
Thank you. So as I mentioned before, awareness I think is definitely a challenge that sustainability faces. Another challenge, I think, also is the maintenance of sustainable buildings. In order to actually, my background, our family business is in elevators, so maintenance is a big part of our business. And one thing that we're always careful about in the elevator business maintenance is being able to have replaceable parts in the future. And as technology progresses, there's going to be newer and newer technologies, and whether those technologies can be backwards compatible with the current technologies, I think will be interesting to see whether or not things that are implemented today, if they're technology based, whether they can continue to be used 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line.
New technology is very important. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Takahiro?
Yes. Challenges for sustainable investment. Our sustainable investments face several challenges today. First, ESG data remains inconsistent across countries. Investors want clear, comparable information, but standards do vary widely. In Japan, we have 4 major environmental certifications, each with its own strengths and weaknesses, and many stakeholders are unsure which certification to choose. Second, retrofitting older buildings is costly, especially when upgrading energy system or improving insulation. Third, for low carbon construction such as mass timber, the supply chain in Asia is still developing. Some markets require updated building codes, and insurance companies often rely on outdated assumptions about fire risk. Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Takahiro. There, I want to continue on, let's say, renovating buildings, for example, because I think that the culture of integrating something new into an existing building, or using new technology when you develop a new project, when you're building something new, there's a barrier there just because it's new. So maybe you have a core team, technical management, who are used to doing things in a certain way. They don't feel necessarily they need to change. And so it might be a barrier. They might say no, and that might stop the investment in the first place. So it kind of sounds easy, but it's actually not that easy to change the culture when it comes to integrating more sustainability in buildings. And regarding what I mentioned earlier, but integrating more renewable energy into our buildings, the Sydney example, right? So let's say you have a CBD area or a project in Bangkok who want to invest in a solar PV facility in an industrial part of the city. How do they do that? What are the permits? Can you connect that solar PV system to the grid? Can you sell electricity, and so forth? So it's just recently that the power grid in Thailand has been opened up for you to connect your solar PV at your house to the grid. Now they're pushing for people to do it, right? But before, it has been really limited. So that is a really big barrier, not only in Thailand, it's a barrier in many countries. So as soon as you can open up the grid and allow an organic addition to solar power, then you have a chance to tap into the renewable energy potential for buildings and cities.
So the cost is still the major challenge for sustainability. Yes. Okay. So we go for the next question. What do you think? How will green technology shape the future investment? So this time I go from Mr. Takahiro first. Yeah, okay.
How green technology will shape the future investment. Green technology will play a central role in shaping future investment strategies in Asia Pacific. AI will optimize energy use in buildings, while digital twins, and smart sensors will improve maintenance and reduce operating cost. In construction, digital prefabrication and mass timber system will become more common, enabling lower carbon emissions, shorter construction time, and high quality. At our company, we are already using prefabricated timber modules and smart monitoring systems. In our wooden building projects, these innovations show how green technology can deliver both sustainability and commercial value. Over the next decade, investors will favor assets that are low carbon, energy efficient, and technology enabled. Green technology will not be a niche. It will be a foundation of future investment. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Peter, please.
Yeah, I want to give another example because just when we talk about buildings and electricity and energy storage, so when it comes to EV adoption, electrical vehicles, they are basically a rolling power bank, right? And most of the time, our cars are parked more than 80% of the time. So if you have heard the technology vehicle to grid, meaning that you can connect your EV to the grid when you are parked, that electricity that is in the battery can be sold back to the grid. Or let's say you have an office building where people drive your EV to work, you can actually provide electricity to the building to reduce peak loads, for example. That is a technology that is really coming and has huge potential actually. So this technology, there are some studies in Europe showcasing that vehicle to grid have the possibility to reduce or supply the total power capacity, or between 50 and 100% of the total power capacity of a whole entire country during a short period of time. So we really have to think about outside the box here with all the things that is happening right now, EVs, battery energy storage. We can do a lot of things, and we even supply our buildings with power.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. David.
I agree that green technologies are going to help to reduce carbon emissions for a greener future. I think with AI right now, I think it's interesting because AI is a big consumer of electricity as well. So how to create AI that can help us to control our energy usage at the same time not consuming so much energy will be a big challenge for the future. But also going sort of back to the challenges of this sustainability is adoption as well. Some countries, in terms of EVs, for example, have very high adoption rates already. But there's still many countries, I think, that are behind on the EV adoption. And, following what Peter was saying earlier, in Taiwan at least, a lot of building owners can be wary about adopting, putting chargers in their parking lots, for example, because they see videos of EVs combusting, and you can't really put out an EV fire that easily. So this kind of consumer choice and awareness is still going to be a challenge
Thank you very much. EV is coming for sure. Yeah, sustainability is no longer optional. It's become very important around the world today. So the last question I would ask, if the time permit, what advice would you give to investor looking at opportunity in Asia Pacific today? So this time I start from Mr. David, and then okay, and start in turn.
I'm not really an advisor and not a specialty.
Your opinion.
The specialty in this area, but yeah, definitely I think it's important to, like Mr. Takahiro said, to understand the numbers and understand what they're actually doing to do the sustainability that they claim to be doing, and yeah, I think that sustainability is definitely something that we need people to be more aware of and keep investing in, so that we can have a greener future.
I totally agree. Yeah, Mr. Takahiro, please.
Yes. I'm a certified valuer, so in my opinion, high yield comes with a high risk. So people want to invest in Japan, but Japanese office A grade has only 2 to 3% rental yield. Only 2 to 3. Sometimes 1.5. So why so low? But many people invest because risk is very low risk. Sometimes appreciation terminal value is very high. So in Southeast Asia, I just searched the office A rental yield. Highest rental yield was Cambodia, Phnom Penh. That was 6.5%. Highest. Second was Ho Chi Minh City, 6.0%. But I recommend, as I told you, Vietnam, because risk is much more smaller than Cambodia. How to evaluate risk? This is easy for me to evaluate risk. This is country risk and inflation for long-term investment. This is included in government bond yield rate. For example, Cambodian yield bond rate is 6.5%, very high. 3.8%. But this is not investment driven. This is a government influenced rate. In Vietnam, it's 4.0%. This is a real investment bond rate. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would come back to in order to stay competitive and to follow. I think is to really focus on sustainability, invest in that in your projects, both to stay relevant and because the demand for sustainability, renewable energy efficiency will only increase. So I think it's really a must to invest in these kind of projects, and the potential is huge to improve sustainability also. So to reduce cost in terms of operation cost, for example. So yeah, focus on sustainability.
Thank you very much. Thank you all the panelists. I think you all have a deeper understanding about this topic. And on behalf of the organizer, I would like to sincerely thank all of the distinguished panelists for sharing their valuable the insight, their perspective on this topic. And thank to the audience that joining us for this session too. And ladies and gentlemen, please give our panelists the warm round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Ka.
Thank you so much to our speakers and moderator for this session. We have a very knowledgeable session today. Now, at this time, we would like to present the token of recognition to our speakers by Mr. Wit Kuntana Vipat, board member of FIABCI Thai.